You know, I could tell you stories about when I worked at Richmond. Most of them you wouldn't believe. Most of them nobody would believe.
I guess you had enough space in like the turbine hall to.
We had a lot of room to get into a lot of trouble. In the wintertime, it was snowballs. In the summertime, all summer long, it was water fights. No matter where you went, somebody was going to hit you with a bucket of water. I filled up a 55-gallon drum. It just kept throwing buckets in there and filled it all up. And straight down below me is where the boiler gang used to wash up. They had their own little bathroom down there. And I waited for them to come by, and I pushed that thing over. It's like Niagara Falls coming down on these guys. I remember going into the water room on the ground floor with a bucket of water, swearing I was going to get these guys because they had gotten me before. Well, somebody ratted me out. They were waiting for me. When I came through the door, they grabbed me. There was a big trough there they used for making cement. They filled it up with water and put me in it and rolled me around a couple of times. I was all full of this crud. And then they got these nylon straps that they use, on the crane. You get a mouse?
Damn straight.
So they got these straps and they tied me up. They wrapped me up like a friggin' cocoon and hung me by my feet from the ceiling.
Sounds like some Harry Houdini shit.
There was no escape, but I had to wait for somebody to come by.
Oh my God.
And get me down.
Wow.
I used to do crazy stuff too. And this one guy would always go down below the boilers and take a nap on day work. And that was taboo. You didn't take any naps on day work. So he went down there one day to get a nap. I went down on the lower level, on the ground level, and I got a step ladder and some they call it baling wire, and I tied him to the grates. I took the wire and I went up over his legs and I squeezed him. Up over his other leg, I squeezed him. Then I went upstairs and I got 3 buckets of water and I drowned him. I said, "There, don't sleep on day work. You're going to get us all in trouble."
Wow. The shenanigans sound endless in this place.
Oh, never stop. Never stop.
Yeah. We talked to Phil Burt about the Cabbage Patch incident, and he said it was a 5-minute story. Could you regale us the Cabbage Patch story?
Oh my God!
About this guy who they said he had a Cabbage Patch doll.
Everybody in Richmond Station likes to, what would be the word? Spam Bill Cochran. Bill Cochran's nickname is Wedgehead. He was a boiler operator.
Why'd you call him Wedgehead?
Wedgehead. He had the hugest head you ever seen in your life. He hated it, but it don't matter.
Right.
So anyway, here we're coming up. Here comes this Christmas thing coming up. The biggest thing going this year was Cabbage Patch dolls. Toys R Us or all these other places, Kmart's and all them, they're gone. Cabbage Patch dolls are gone. Someone put an ad in the paper, and I know who the someone is. That's the good part. That Bill Cochran had something like, I don't know, say 6 of these dolls.
So who did do it? Off the record, who did do it?
I ain't never going to say.
You're not going to say?
I ain't never told even anyone that I know, my closest friend in Richmond.
Phil put the ad in the paper for sale, Cabbage Patch Kid. That's when the craze was us, and there was none in the stores, and people were beating each other up over them. So I just put it in there for sale, Cabbage Patch Kid. Call Bill Cochran. Well, Cochran got like 9,000 phone calls over the next week. He was so mad, he called security. The security came down to the station and interviewed everybody. He said, "I don't know who put that in there."
You would think, in today's world, you would think that they were investigating the President of the United States. one of the most suspected ones to have done it. Then I could have done it, but I didn't. So I go up to the B engineer's office. I think it was at least two, but it might have been three of these investigators. One of the first things he wanted to know, would you take a lie detector test? And all I could do was laugh. I said, you got to be effing kidding me. You take a lie detector over the Cabbage Patch Kid? You got to be kidding. They go through this whole thing. Then you give me handwriting analysis. I'm, well, sure, I'll write out. What do you want me to write? My left hand or my right hand?
Station.
Everybody that worked at Richmond Station is in this list. And they said to me to hand me, I went out and got the list out there and said, okay, you got a pencil, put a mark over there. You don't even have to make like you're doing it. I'm like, they're really playing this up. Just put a mark on it. We won't even look where you put the mark. You just put a mark. I said, well, wait a minute. Here's the list. You want to know who's capable of doing it? I said, everybody on that list. All the way up from Ernie Spade, all the way down to the left, to the Chandler, the Donner, or whatever, everybody. I'll tell you who's the most capable person or the most culpable person to do it, and that's Bill Cochran himself.
But it went from a little joke to, all the company security people down there interviewing people, and I said, well, it's over a Cabbage Patch Kid. That was funny.
So that's the whole Cabbage Patch incident rolled up right there in my. They never found out who done it.